This here represents a cross-section or a side view of a hurricane. This is produced by NASA. This here is a good illustration that showcases how we have converging air coming at the center of our eye. And so at the center of the eye, there's convergence, and subsequently we get that rising air. And so air coming inward in both directions, it then causes the updraft, creating the cloud cover to grow taller and taller over time. And so that creates this very tall structure. Once again, hurricanes, they encompass all of the troposphere. And so you can see how the tropopause is showcased here as this particular line. Here we have the stadium effect, as they call it, with the central dense overcast being shown here. And so it's oftentimes we have the stadium effect at the top of the eye, where we have our eye wall will actually bend outward as we go away from the eye, creating a stadium effect. And so imagine you're at a football game, you're sitting here, the people behind you are sitting at a higher level, people in front of you are sitting at a lower level, and so it's very common to see this stadium effect here, especially in the most intense hurricanes. Meanwhile, with this updraft of both sides on this eye wall, actually the eye has in the center of it a downdraft. It's kind of just the absence of air, kind of a vacuum left behind, and so it creates a downdraft here at the eye center. Continuing outward from the central dense overcast and the eye wall, we see cirrus clouds. So oftentimes you'll see an aerial image of or a satellite image of a hurricane, and it'll just be clouds in the entire structure. It's just one big huge circle with nothing but clouds. Well, actually, oftentimes what's happening there is the cirrus clouds, these very thin, feathery clouds, are covering up a lot of what's underneath there. And so oftentimes you'll have those cirrus clouds beyond the eye wall in the eye, creating a very thin cloud layer at the top. Meanwhile, we have these spiral bands, which are essentially areas where we have warm rising air, and they're essentially interspersed or separated by areas where we have downdrafts, which we can see on the outsides of this particular image or model.